Hi, Ajay. Can you use the camera today, if possible?
Yeah, yeah. Good evening, all. Shall we start?
Let's wait. We'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I always starting in 2 minutes. Okay, just waiting for some more people to join.
Okay.
We'll get
Okay.
started. While we are starting, like let's make sure we want to make the session as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions in between, you can raise your hand, and we'll be able to allow you to speak. Or you can always put your questions, on the bottom using the Q&A. Meanwhile, others are joining. Let me give you some quick background. On the previous session we had, right? Ajay, if you go back to the 2 slides before, yeah. So just to introduce myself, my name is Kshitij Agarwal. I am the founder and CEO of Tequila Global Services, which is a Salesforce consulting partner, and we have been around in the industry for 8 years, and recently, we have seen a lot of demand on Salesforce and very, I would say, scarcity of good resources. So that's why we thought of, set up this series of, like workshops for everyone, so that everyone can be able to learn Salesforce as well. So it is not just for understanding what Salesforce is, but also start using it. So this series of session is more about, how Salesforce works, how to. So these all sessions, like it's a set of 10 sessions, right? So this is second session where we are going to cover some practical things, how to do some things on Salesforce. In the first session, pretty much we covered was like what Salesforce is, how it is used, what are the like what's like how Salesforce platform as a service, what all other things are there, what is CRM. So we already have uploaded the first session on our Academy page as well as on our YouTube. I will share the link of the YouTube and Facebook and everything, with everyone. So those who have not watched the first session, I would recommend to also watch that, right? But even if you have missed the first session and if you know little bit about what Salesforce is and all, I think this session should be good to start. Okay. So and with me I have Ajay. And Ajay, just to give you a background, Ajay has almost 20 plus years of experience, training on various platforms, including Java, PHP, WordPress. And, from last 2 years, he has been majorly working on Salesforce, and he's using his current knowledge on Salesforce, as a trainer, to also educate people on that, so the whole idea of this session is, to make sure that everyone, at the end of it, we want to make sure that everyone actually learns Salesforce. And also just to update everyone, once you finish this admin sessions as well as the developer sessions, which is another session which are going to run in parallel. So these sessions are from 7:30 to 8:30 Indian time, and the other one is 8:30 to 9:30. And we have these recurring every month, so even if you miss the developer session now, you can always attend the next set of sessions which will start next month. Okay, so you don't have to panic there. But the idea is within 2 to 3 months you should be at a point, where you can call yourself as like a Salesforce developer. Okay, and at that point, you will be open for the market, you will be able to reach out for jobs. Okay, for good candidates who are with us for a long time, right, we are going to also hire them internally. We have some openings internally, as well as, we are also giving away some free vouchers for certifications. We are giving away swags. So the idea is to make sure that you stick with us, and you, in the end, you actually come up as a, you learn something out of it, right? And depending on that, we will be evaluating you. Okay. So Ajay, you can take it from here.
Yeah. So starting with today agenda is we have to cover the following thing. We learn about the documents, apps, objects, tab, and fields. Basically, that is the building block of your Salesforce application, right? So in the last session, as we cover how to log in into the Salesforce CRM. So basically, there are two URL that we use. The one is login.salesforce.com and second one is test.salesforce.com. The first one, generally, this particular URL is used in your developer account, or you can say your another one, production environment, right? And second one is test.salesforce.com. Basically, that is a sandbox environment. You can also say that it is a test environment where before deployment in the production, we have to set up all the things, right? This particular environment is used by the developer to develop your apps or configure the things according to your requirement. After successful implementation and testing, we have to migrate the things into the production environment where the actual user of the application or app use that particular things, right? So this is one interface that is related to Classic. Basically, Salesforce platform is come in two user interface. The one is Classic, that is the first interface, and the second one is Lightning. Lightning is basically developed for the users, those using a mobile, tab, and laptop. If we talk about Classic, basically it is used for built for a user initially for the desktop user, right? In particular scenario, right? Currently, we in the presentation we have some snapshot that is related to Classic, but we give demo in Lightning, right? So first of all, if we talk about app, so we can say app means application that contains collection of components like your tab, report, dashboard, and Visualforce pages that addresses specific need of your business. Salesforce provides standard app that is the part of your Salesforce, like your sale module, your marketing module, call center. Basically, these are some predefined app that is a part of your Salesforce. You can utilize as it is, or you can also customize the way you are working, right? In addition, you can package an app. That means you can create your own app and upload in App Exchange. Basically, App Exchange is a dedicated area where applications are available for Salesforce, especially. Maybe some of them are free or some of them are paid. Basically, they are integrated, pre-integrated with your Salesforce. That means you have to just install your app according to your requirement, according to your need, and you can just utilize your app. Now, the second term is tab. Tab, you can say, tab is used to create your user interface. That means with the help of tab, you can collect all the things in a one place, right? Now, this is a highlighted area. It is an example of tab where different tab is created according to the need of your business or your requirement. App Exchange, as I say earlier, is a dedicated URL for App Exchange from where you can download applications. So just I gave you one.
I would like to elaborate more on that, right?
Yeah.
1 second. Yeah. Right. So just to elaborate more on that, right? So first of all, so talk about app, right? So for example, if you use mobile, okay. So in mobile, let's say there are 10 different features, right? So when you open a mobile app, let's say you have a BMI calculator or you have a health app, right? So first of all, you have to click on an app, right, which opens the app, and then when you open the app, then you see multiple tabs in it, right? Okay, where I have to navigate, right? So in order to create an app, we use Salesforce apps where we can create an app which can contain something, right? For example, if you see the screenshot, we have servicing app, service app, marketing app, community app, site app, right? So there are multiple apps, right? SMS app, okay? So we can create an app which can be useful for your, as per your business, right? And then once you have created the app, then you can actually create tabs in it, which will actually showcase you how many what all tabs you can visit and what tab does what. Okay, just to give you a small idea, just so that everyone is on the same page, is that we are going to give you a demo of how we can create a software. So the whole purpose of Salesforce is that you can create a working software in few clicks. You don't have to write a single piece of code, and you can create the whole software on Salesforce, right? That is the whole idea, because the admin series is all about how you can create something just by using a point and click, right? You don't have to write any piece of code. Okay, so this thing what you're seeing here is so in this session we are actually going to cover a actual live project. Ajay, what is the topic of that? I think it's
That is training management.
Training management, right? So let's say, in your college, I'm sure you would have studied on training management or library system or anything, right? So let's say if I ask you to create a training management system, so in this demo we are going to show how easy it is to set up a like a app. In the next 1 hour you will be able to set up most of the things in the training management system. So that is the power of Salesforce. Okay, what Ajay is showing, App Exchange, don't get confused. App Exchange is like how you have a like Apple Store, right, or Google Play Store, where you have something pre-built, okay, and you can just install it. So one way is you build something from scratch, and the second way is you can actually just install something from the app library, right? So App Exchange is nothing but a marketplace where you can buy any paid app or a free app ready to use. Okay. So Ajay, you can move to the next one. And while we are moving to the next slide, in the last session we have sent everyone the link how you can register to Trailhead, right? I'm sure everyone would have done that. If not, Amrut, you're there, right, on the chat?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Amrut, you can again share the link of Trailhead, how they can sign up on Trailhead, right? Which means once you sign up on Trailhead, you will get your own Salesforce environment where you can start coding or you can start performing things. Okay, right? For now, Ajay is actually logging into his own environment, which is already in place. Okay, but once you sign up, you will also see the same sessions. Okay. So Priya has mentioned she has already started few models, which is a good thing. It is very simple to set up, right? And we have a WhatsApp group for this. So those who have not joined it, please join it, and you can ask the questions, and the fellow people can answer them. So the idea is that you can help each other. Okay. Right. You can
Okay, then we started the one demo where I'm using my developer account. So for developer account, you have to write login.salesforce.com. Before using, you have to create that developer account. It is free and you can utilize without any restriction. The restriction is only related to space, right? And you can use only for learning purpose. You cannot utilize it for, you can say, like a commercial purpose. So when you try to log in into your account, you have two interface. The one is your classic, or second one is your lightning. Depending on the setting of your org, you can get the interface. Now there is one link available from where you can navigate between your classic environment or your lightning environment.
Right,
So
and just not
currently
to confuse,
when I log in,
right, Ajay, just not to confuse anyone, like, so what is Lightning and what is Classic, right? So Salesforce has been around for 20 years, right? So when Salesforce launched, they have the old interface, which you are seeing now, that is now also called as Classic interface, okay? However, like Salesforce have, as everything is, I would say, enhancing, right? So Salesforce has also launched a new theme, which is called Lightning theme, okay? Now, of course, like imagine if a company is using a classic version, it is very hard for them to change the look and feel, because you will see that almost like Lightning will be very much different from the classic one, right? So that's why there are some companies who are still using the classic version, but what we'll highly recommend is everyone to only do it on Lightning, because I would say 95% of the companies are using Lightning version, which is the latest version, okay? Which is loading now. Yeah, the only challenge with Lightning version, to be honest, in India is it is called Lightning, but it is slow, because it is very data heavy, right? So it sometimes loads slow. Okay, so for this demo purpose, we are going to run few things in the classic version, but Lightning and Lightning and Classic are almost similar in terms of the look and feel, like the orientation of things, but the UI will be a bit different. Okay, so Ajay, if your internet is slow, you can run the demo on Classic. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, can you go back to the slides till it's loading?
So when we start, uh, the first screen that we get, now you at the top of the screen you get one link that is used to navigate between the classic environment and lightning environment, right? And the setup link, basically this particular link is available lightning as well as classic. Basically whenever you want to open any particular you want to perform any particular task, then you have to just click on the setup and write the few words of a particular task that you want to perform. Then the related links is available on the side navigator bar. I'm going to show you. Yeah, now this is the environment that we use to work with the Salesforce, and this is your Lightning environment. Suppose if you want to create an app, then what you have to do, you have to just write the app in quick find search, right? I just want to create an app, then what I have to write, apps, and it will automatically search the contents for that. It is loading. Now, when I type apps, it will automatically search apps, and I just need to click on App Manager. When I click on the App Manager, then it will show the list of all the apps that is already available in your org. Now, from where you can create a new app, or you can also modify any existing app according to your requirement, right? But there is one option, that is new Lightning app. Basically, this button is used to create a app where you have to specify the name of the app, and you can also specify the logo for your particular app. Now, here you have to specify your name of the app. All right, then app name is training management. Now, basically, this is a display name. When we talk about developer name, this particular name is used internally by Salesforce. You can specify any description for your app. after that you have to upload any image if you want. You can choose any image. One thing is to be remember, whenever you upload any image for your logo, the size, maximum size of the logo up to 20 KB, right? Now here you have to specify navigation style. We are using standard navigation style, and this particular application that we are creating, it is support for desktop as well as support for phone, and it is a enterprise application, right? There's some optional features that you can disable. App personalized setting. If you want, anyone can customize the setting, then you have to untick. Otherwise, if you want to restrict, yeah, that means you want to disable, then you have to tick on this particular features. That means when you create your app, then only the administrator power user is allowed to change the setting, right? So currently we allow user.
Ajay, Priyanka has asked what is console navigation. So the difference is like, a standard navigation. I would say in 90% cases you have to use standard navigation only. Console navigation, allows you to create like tabs inside tabs. So in the standard view, you can only see one thing at a time, right? In the console view, as you keep on clicking something, it will open up in the subscreen. Okay, so it stacks the screen one below other. Okay, so console navigation is usually used by, let's say, call centers or like high volume sales team, okay, who want to see multiple screens at one at single point, right? But in 90% of cases, they will always use standard navigation.
We can take the example of hospital management system. Suppose if you want to check the patient record, just you open the patient record and all the details related to its bill and related to its testing is come like a tab under the tab. So in that area, we can use console navigation. Now, if you want to add some utility, then you can add some utility, some predefined apps that is a part of your Salesforce. Like if you want to add chatter utility, just click on this area and you can add. Click on next. Now, different available items. Suppose if you want to add any existing object, you can add. Like I want to add some accounts. Like I just check accounts and add. Suppose I want app launcher, then I can also add. So whatever you want to add, you can add. And then click on next. Now, for permission, basically we are assigning this app for admin user. Then you have to choose a profile. Basically, profile is, we have different profile in Salesforce. Means the category of the user, you can say segment of the user who want to access your app, you can assign the profile. Just click on save.
So we will cover the profiles in the later sessions, right? But on a very high level, profile is, you can say, just the access level, right? So for example, in an organization, there can be a CEO, there can be like a manager, there can be a developer, right? So of course, CEO should see more things and developer should see less things, right? So profile is majorly used for defining the access level of a particular user, what he can see. Because the good thing with Salesforce is you can also define which all things are visible to someone, which all fields are visible to someone. So everything you can actually manage there. Okay.
So there is some basically error that I get. Basically, that is related to access level. That means number of application that we can create. So in this particular case, I show you one.
Chiruku, I think if you are on the paid account, there is not much limit. I think it's more than 100 apps, which you will never exhaust. There is a free account, so I think it only allows few things. Okay. But majorly, Ajay, I think
Yeah.
you should start. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why?
Basically,
Sorry, go ahead, Ajay.
yeah, basically the problem that we face, I'm using developer account. So number of application that apps that I can create is 10, or maybe the number of app that we created already is reached the limit. So what I need to do, I just remove one app, and after that we can create. Like I remove that particular app. So after that I am able to create a new app.
Right. So while you're doing that, Ajay, right? I think we are too much into apps. But before that, I'm sure most of you are software engineers or software. So the first thing we should tell them is how to create. I'm sure like many of them might be having from Java background or PHP background or .NET background. So very first thing which is important is how you create a table, right? And table and attributes. And in Salesforce, we don't have tables and attributes. We call them objects and fields. Okay. So object is nothing but a table, and fields is like the attributes of that. Okay. So Ajay, I think before we go too much into app, right? Let's start creating the object and fields. Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, give me a moment.
If anyone is missing any screenshots and all, we are also live on Facebook. You can take the screenshots from there, or you can always see the recording. We'll be sharing with everyone.
So after following the step, we are able to launch a application with the name of training management. Suppose if you want to open that particular app, then what you have to do, you have to click on this app launcher. Now in app launcher, you have to select your training app, that is training management. When you open that particular app, then you find the logo that we choose, that is available there. Number in your select only two, that is account and second is app launcher. So that is available here. So in the way we can say tab is a collection of the component that you want to display there, right? So the second thing that we are going to cover is object. And the logo is appearing here. That is the name of your app, and we have account and app launcher that we added there. The next. Object. Object are nothing but a table in a regular database, and it is a basic building block of your app. Any data stored in a Salesforce will be saved in your object. It consists your row and column. Row means your record and column means your fields. Basically, there are two types of object in Salesforce: standard object and custom object. Standard object means that are the part of your Salesforce, and custom object are the object that is created by the user. Now the standard object which are created by the Salesforce are called the standard object. Like we take the example, we have account, contact, user, profile, user role, lead, and opportunity. Basically, they are predefined objects. What we can do, we can customize the object according to the requirement, but we cannot delete the object. We can only customize. But when we talk about custom object, in custom object, we can create, we can delete, we can modify according to requirements. Now, if we talk about fields, fields means the columns. Like we take the example, we have account owner details, account name, industry, and billing city. Basically, these are the fields that we store. And if we talk about the row means the record. So store these kind of information we require object in Salesforce.
Right. Just one thing I want to clear, so when Ajay said what is standard object and custom object, right? So when someone buys Salesforce, right? When someone installs Salesforce, so of course Salesforce doesn't come blind. Okay, it comes with something pre-filled or preloaded. Okay, and the things which are preloaded are usually like those who are part of the first session. What Salesforce is? Salesforce is CRM, right? And in CRM is nothing but like a sales cycle, right? Right from a lead coming in. Lead means anyone who is visiting your website or visiting your store, to converting a lead to an account and contact and an opportunity. So when you convert a lead, so lead is, let's say, you came as a lead, let's say you're a developer at Tequila, right? And once you come as a lead, I show interest in something, so you convert me to an account, so now Tequila becomes an account, and the contact will be, let's say, Kshitij, right below that. And there is an opportunity. So imagine like an opportunity is, let's say, buying a car. Okay. So as I was mentioning, like it starts as a lead, but then it goes to like account, contact, and opportunity, right? So these objects are pre-built in Salesforce, like automatically present in Salesforce. Similarly, let's say when it comes to cases, right? So cases is nothing but for support. So support can be pre-built, right? Campaigns can be pre-built. So we are going to cover all of these. I know there might be many questions, in the past, right? But yeah, so if anyone want to know more about what are leads or accounts or contacts, again, you should do trailheads. Leads and all these are marketing concepts, right? Lead is nothing but like a potential customer, right? An opportunity is like the deal he's interested in, right? So we are going to cover all these things, but the idea here, what I'm explaining is that standard objects are nothing but some preloaded objects or preloaded tables. But as I mentioned, like there might be always a chance that you want to create some custom object, which are not present in Salesforce, right? So for example, as Ajay mentioned, like this is a training management, right? So for training management, I want to, let's say, enable a course, I want to enable a new object called student. I want to enable a new object as, let's say, enrollment, right? Training enrollment. So these objects are not present. So for that, we have to create a custom object. Okay. So one are standard objects, one are custom objects. Okay. And while doing that, what you see here are fields, right? So again, as I mentioned, like let's say you have contact as an object, right? So contact is nothing but a contact information, right? Like your first name, last name, email address, phone number, probably your country, city, state, all these things. Okay. So these fields, fields is nothing but the attributes, right? These attributes comes preloaded with Salesforce. When you buy Salesforce or when you even create a developer account, these fields come automatically. Okay. But there can be also a chance that you want to add some more fields, like for example, birth date of a contact, or let's say anniversary date of a contact, right? Or let's say let's say monthly salary of the contact, right? So again, Salesforce cannot give you everything out of the box, right? So in that case, Salesforce gives you flexibility where you can always go ahead and create a custom field. So standard fields is nothing but the fields which come automatically. Custom field is something which you create custom. Okay. Yeah, please continue, Ajay.
So yeah, when we talk about the custom fields, that means admin is going to create that particular field, right? Like we take an example, for a particular account, we have a name, we have a site, phone number, industry, annual revenue. So each field have its specific data type. Like we take an example of annual revenue. So it is of maybe currency type. If we talk about name, it is of string type. Maybe there are some calculation based working. So maybe there is a calculated field. So when we talk about fields, so it can be of any type. It can store information like a numeric type. If we talk about in terms of age, there is one field with the name of age. So in that particular field, we store information in the form of numbers, right? So at the time of creating a custom field, we have to specify its data type. So if we talk about custom object and custom field, so for each custom fields and custom object, we have double underscore with character C. So we can easily recognize that particular field is a standard field or a custom field. So for every custom field and custom object, there is double underscore with character C at the end. Now, I'll just give you one example how to create an object. So whenever you want to create an object, then what you have to do? You have to just click on setup. When you click on setup, you find there object manager. So when you create an object, you have to specify the object name and some setting that is required. Now we have an object manager. When we click on the object manager, then we find some predefined object that is a part of the Salesforce itself or maybe created by the admin. You can list it.
One thing I do want to mention while it's loading is, like as you mentioned, like when you're using the standard object, right? So usually, like how will you know whether an object is a standard object or a custom object? So the standard object always comes with the full name. Let's say account will be the standard object name. Okay. So the name of the object will be account. Okay. However, if you create a custom object, you will see that there will be a underscore C appended to it. Okay. So that's how Salesforce will know that, or you will know that it is a custom object. Okay. So you see like account is without any underscore C, right? Which means it's a standard. Account is standard, activity is standard, asset is standard, right? But let's say account soft credit and is a custom object. Address is a custom object. Okay. So this is how you can identify whether it's a standard object or a custom object. Exactly same also applies on the contact level, field level, so standard fields are full names, like without any underscore C, whereas a custom field always comes with a underscore C.
Okay, now if you want to create a custom object, then what you have to do, you have to click on this create button, and create button you find custom object. Now when you click on this custom object, here you have to specify the name of the object. Now, suppose I'm going to create one object with the name of project. Now, here you have to specify the label. Label is its display name. When we talk about second one, that is plural name. Basically, this name is used in the tab. When we create tab, the name that you specify is displayed there. Right? You can specify any description for your object. The next one, contains sensitive help string. Basically, if you want to include in searching part, then you can specify this. Basically, this is a global search, and if you are implementing this, then we can easily search the things that is a part of your object. After that, you have to specify the record name label. Now, this record name label are of two types. Either it is of text type or maybe it is of auto increment. Suppose if you choose text type, data type for this particular record name, then you have to manually specify the name. Or in case if you are choosing auto number, then you have to specify the auto number format. It will automatically generate it when you insert a new record. Like I'm going to take auto number in this case, then display format. That means whenever a new record is inserted for project, then the format of the record is like PRJ is the starting word. After that, there is one hyphen, and then you can specify any 2-digit number. Right? This is a format, right? So starting number like 1. So whenever we insert a record, then it will produce a number like PRJ hyphen 01, PRJ hyphen 02, PRJ hyphen 03.
Right.
After that, we find there is some optional feature.
So Ajay, yeah, before like let me elaborate on that. So naming convention, right? So what we are doing here is we are actually defining what will be the name of the object, right? So for example, if let's say you like we are creating this training management system, right? So in training management, if let's say I have to define the name of the student, for example, right? So if I name the object hypothetically, I call it student, right? So student के लिए like the name will be a text field, right? Because you will be entering the name of the student, because that is how you will identify what student has been enrolled to. Okay. However, let's say if take an example that student and let's say there is another object called course, right? So there is a student and there is a course. So course can be admin sessions, right? So that course can be also like a full name. So name will be the name. Okay. But let's say I want to create enrollments below the student, right? Or let's say I want to take a fees from a student, for example, right? So if I want to take a fees, so fees, we don't have to define a name of the fees, right? Fees is usually what? It should be like a receipt number, right? And receipt numbers are usually auto number, right? So whenever we don't want to put like an actual name for a receipt every time we generate a receipt or a fee. In that case, we always use an auto number. Okay. So auto number is used whenever the name is not required. Okay. And name is used whenever we require a name for it. Okay. I think Pushkar has asked what is 0000. So this is like number of digits, so let's say if I want to say fees 00001, right? If I want to keep it like 5 digits, then I put 5 zeros. If I want to keep it 4 digit, I can keep 4 zeros. Okay. So yeah,
and starting values is 1.
Right. So starting number, like for example, if someone is moving to Salesforce, let's say in middle of a business, right? And let's say he's using an object called invoice, right? So of course, as you know, invoices, he would have already been generating invoices from some other system, and his current number for invoice might be, let's say 750, right? So what he can do is he can put the starting number as 751. So when the record will start creating, the auto number will start applying from 751. Okay. If it's a brand new system, you can always start with 1. In most cases, you have to always start with 1. Okay. These are other things what you're seeing, allow reports, allow activities. We will come back to this, okay, because we don't want to confuse you. But on a very high level, like track field history is nothing but you can actually track each and every like changes on a field, just for using this thing. Omkar has asked, can we change the A? So if you see on the top, like instead of A001, we have used PRJ, right? So that's why now when we start creating the record, you will start seeing PRJ001. Okay. So Ajay, why don't you quickly just save this, okay, and create one more field to it, and we will show how the record will look like. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just save it.
So just I'm going to save
custom.
it.
Yeah. Did you create a custom tab? Create a custom tab. Okay.
No. Now, after creating the object, we are going to create a tab for that so that it is visible in the app that we already created, right? So what you have to do, you have to further go to the setup and choose tabs. Now, when we are going to create a tab, then we find there is number of type of tab that we can create. So currently we create an object, so we choose the type of tab is object type. We can also create like BF page tab, web tab. So what you have to choose? You have to write tab. Then it will automatically search and display the links that is related to tab.
Other internet is slow, huh?
Yeah. Just I click on the tab. Now we can create custom tab. Currently, we are going to create a custom tab for custom object. So just what we have to do, we have to just click on new, and we need to select our object, that is project. We need to select our object, that is project. And you need to select the tab style. You can choose any tab style.
Tab style is nothing but like an icon, you know, which comes next to the tab. Okay.
And then you can specify any short description. Just click on the next button. Now here you have to specify where you want to include your custom tab.
So usually you can do always on, you know, you can do always on. Once we come to the profiles, in that case, you can actually choose who we want to show it to. Okay.
We are including training management.
So you will see, like, once you have included in your training management, now if you go to the training management app, you will start seeing a new object called project. As you go to the app launcher.
It is available. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, it is available. Now go to the app launcher, and we need to just select the training app. And we find that particular tab is now available here. And when we select that particular tab, that means when we click on that, then it will directly open the fields that are the part of your object. Currently, we have only one field.
Right, Ajay, before you create a new field, right, go to the project. I want to show you the project quickly, you know, because the thing is, we want to just, you know, allow some time for the Q&A, right? Else we will end up session without any question. So as I said, you know, like last time, if you were in the last session, I told you, if you want to create a new project in Salesforce, it is very, very simple, right? So you create a new object as project, right? And automatically this new button for creating a new record, for editing a record, for deleting the record, everything is automatically available, right? So if Ajay will see, this new buttons come automatically, right? So I can just put our project name, right? And just save it. In this case, you don't even have an option to create a name because the name was auto numbered, right? So if I save it, you will see it will be automatically PRJ001. Okay. So it will create one record, which is
PRJ001 was created.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see, it is how quickly you can create the record. You will also have a button to delete it and edit that. If you click on projects again, click on the projects on the top, the projects tab. Yeah. So one is like you can see all the records which you have created. You have an option to add new one. You have an option to edit this. So you see like a small icon on the right side. You can edit this and you can delete this. So all these things are pre-built. So which means you don't have to design the screens for creating something or editing something or deleting something. Everything is pre-built in Salesforce. That's why it is very, very fast to launch an application because you just define the objects, you define the fields for that. So like for example, we are creating a project, right? So we need the name of the project, we might need, let's say, the description of the project, we might need the technology of the project. So what Ajay is going to show you now is like, how we can quickly add the fields to the project. Okay. And once we add the fields to the project, it will start showing up automatically here. Okay. So I know we are almost like on top of the hour, right? Ajay will quickly finish how to create the fields, right? And we'll show you. But the idea is like what we want from everyone is like everyone has Trailhead. You should create objects and fields and everything, and we'll also be sending you a, a, an exercise, exercise.
Related links.
Yeah, where you have to create that exercise, right? And you can ask the question by next section. Okay. The reason we are not doing these sessions daily is for two reasons. One is, of course, Ajay is a billable, person on project, so he's pretty much busy on the project, and he's doing this as a pro bono. And secondly, what we feel is like we are giving you like the initial push, and then you can edit, like you can do the practice. Once you do more practice, you will be perfect in it. Instead of just learning new thing every day, might be too much to grasp. Okay. So now Ajay is showing you how we can create a field. Okay.
Okay. Now, when you click on the object manager and choose your project object, then you find there is a navigation bar. Now, from this navigation, you have to choose your fields and relationship. Now, when you click on the fields and relationship, then you find a list of available fields for that particular project. Now, currently, we find there is some fields is already available, like created by last modify and owner. Basically, this field is, you can say, it is a standard fields that is created by Salesforce, and it is also updated by Salesforce. Now there is one field that is project name that we define as a auto number. Now if you want to include some more fields, then what you have to do, you have to just click on new button. When you click on new button, then you have to specify the type of fields. That means the field that you are going to create, the value that you want to hold there. You have to first specify. It can be your text, like it can be your auto number, your formula field, your lookup relationship fields, your master details relationship, your external lookup relationship. So you have to specify, or you can say you have to choose the type of information that you want to store. Like in this particular case, I'm going to select the text. Now for text, you can input any combination of letter and numbers, right? Let's just click on the next. Now in this particular case, you have to specify the name of the field. Like I'm going to take the name as a project name, project title. The length, it can be maximum 255 character. Then you have to specify the length. The maximum length is 255 character, right? Now, the field name, basically this is one API name that is used by the developer. Now, if you want this particular field is required field, then you have to specify required. If you want to specify any default value, then you can write default value. Otherwise, just click on the next button. Further, you have to specify the visibility level. And then the layout where you want to display this particular field. Now there is two options. The one is save and another is save and new. If you want to just close the thing, then you have to just click on save. If you want to add new fields, then you have to click on save and new. Like second field I'm going to add is It is of type
So just quickly, like
number type.
I'm going to show you like what all each of these fields are, right? Is like, okay, if you scroll up, okay, Ajay. So
Yeah.
very quickly, what each of these fields are, right? So I'm sure those who have studied like data modeling and everything in the college time, right? So we have like auto number again. This auto number is like an additional field which you can deduce on an object level, which will automatically increment every time, right? We have a formula field. Formula field can be, let's say, like you can create a formula, for example, let's say today's date plus one, right? Or you can create a formula field which can be, for example, like you create a field, you have three fields: principal, rate, and time, right? So you can create a fourth formula field which can be interest, which is principal, rate, time, divided by 100, like so. You can actually create that kind of formula field to calculate the interest. Okay. Lookup and master detail, will come back to that. Okay, what they are. Okay, scroll down. Checkbox is like, like a true and false, right? For example, like a checkbox can be like enrolled, right? Like if the person enrolled for something or not. So the checkbox can be either true or false, right? So we use checkbox. Okay. Currency is of course like for any kind of amount field. If we have a field to put which is of type amount, we can put currency. Okay. Date is, of course, everyone knows what date is. Date time is actually a combination of date and date time. Okay. Uh, Date and time. Email, everyone knows what email is. Geolocation is basically for putting any IP look, like any geostats, like for, I would say, latitudes and longitudes, right? For everything. Number, everyone knows what number is. Percent, everyone knows percent is. Phone, everyone knows. Pick list. Okay. Pick list is basically like a drop down. Okay. So let's say, you have some like a defined value of something. Like for example, we know we have 4 types of courses going on, right? And if someone is registering, we know which course is going to register. So he can only pick between those 4 options, right? So we create a pick list and we define the 4 possible values. So when you're filling a form, you only can choose between those 4 values, right? So that is called pick list. What is pick list? Multi-select. Multi-select is nothing but you can actually now choose multiple values, like in a single pick list. So let's say if we allow you to choose 2 cores at single time, right? So we can choose a multi-select pick list. Again, we are rushing through it, but we are going to cover them again, in the upcoming session, and you can also, practice on your end, creating each and every field, right? Text, everyone knows what text is. Text is nothing but like a normal free text field. Text area is also similar to text. The difference being it is more for writing a paragraph. So text is like simple for lines. Text area is for paragraphs, and text area long is for big paragraphs. Like where you can actually enter a lot of data, and you see the limits of the characters. So text area is like 255 characters, whereas text area long is actually 131,000, right? So which means you can add lot of data there, right? Text area rich, we are again going to show you, but text area rich is like text area long, but you also have an option to put the HTML, like formatting, like if you want to put any, like you want to make something bold, like you want to make something italics, you can do that. Okay. Text encrypted is like, when you want to encrypt something, let's say if you want to put Aadhaar number or SSN number, you can actually encrypt the field. Okay. Time is just time. How we have date time, we can only put just time field. And URL is like for putting any website URL. Okay. So what I want from every one of you is to actually sign up on Trailhead, right? Create at least multiple objects, create multiple fields. Okay, play around with it, right? Ajay is going to give you an exercise to everyone, right? And do that, and we will take it from there. Ajay, I think we have still more things to cover. Do you have time to take a session tomorrow, or should we push it to next week?
Yeah.
You can do it
Yeah, I
tomorrow.
can.
Okay, so guys, again,
Yeah.
we have not planned for tomorrow, but what we will do is just to make sure everyone, speeds up. So we are also going to have the session same time tomorrow. Okay, and we will continue from here. Okay, I need to jump on another session, which is starting now. So thank you so much, for attending, and please, as I said, like please keep learning, right? And please let us know if you have any questions, any fields, right? And you can always ask any questions on the WhatsApp group. Okay. What I can do is I can again put the WhatsApp group here just in case anyone doesn't know what the WhatsApp group is. Okay. And you can join that. And Plus, you can always follow us on the Tequila page. All right. I'm just putting it here. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Please, let us know if there is anything else. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ajay. For the insightful session. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye.